Joining me now is Ambassador Nicholas Burns, former top official and ambassador at the State Department. We understand the president is going to, first of all, address the workforce and try to say, that he's going to restore morale, recruit and retain career officers, ban politics, restore human rights at the center of American diplomacy, freedom of speech, also another value. These are the things he's going to say to the workforce. Maybe not making all new policy, because we know what his policies are. They've been articulated by the new Secretary of State. But how important is this to people around the world, especially those who watched the events of January 6th and found it to be, as we do here in America, a shocking example of an attack on our own democracy, our own values?
Andrea, I think the president's visit to the State Department today is a powerful signal of his support for the United States building up its capacity in diplomacy, which we didn't see under 4 years of Donald Trump. And as you know very well, the State Department has been downtrodden. It was disregarded and called the deep state by President Trump. Budget problems, morale problems that, frankly, we haven't seen in many, many decades. And President Biden is someone who has proven his interest and commitment to diplomacy. Secretary Tony Blinken, the same. I think it's going to be a day where the Foreign Service and Civil Service, the men and women, our career diplomats, can feel that they're supported again. And they're going to be put back into the center of American diplomacy. So I credit President Biden and Secretary Blinken for deciding that this first major foreign policy speech should be right there at the Truman Building, the State Department, in the heart of our diplomacy.
Ambassador Burns, at the same time, he's taking a hard line against Vladimir Putin, did in the very first phone call show that he was doing something that President Trump never did. He's now on a collision course with China over Myanmar or Burma. He's got, intractable problems. So how much can he really accomplish?
I think he can accomplish a lot, Andrea. You've already seen in 2 weeks, the president has re-embraced our allies and put the United States back into the leadership role that we have to have at NATO and with our East Asian allies. He's out defending democracy. He's criticizing the Russians over the attempted poisoning of Alexei Navalny and now the jailing of Navalny, criticizing the Chinese government. Tony Blinken, Secretary Blinken, said it was a genocide, really tough language. And this challenge that we face from China and Russia, the two big authoritarian powers, is one of the most important issues that the American people are confronting. And I think President Biden has made it very clear he's going to defend our country and defend diplomacy. So I think it's been a very strong start in foreign policy. And today's event allows him to illuminate, really, our nonpartisan career foreign and civil servants, the heart of our diplomacy, who need to be lifted up here and will be, I think, by this administration.
Is Putin, though, rebuffing him, ignoring him by jailing Navalny, despite the pleas of the United States?
Well, it just shows the weakness of Vladimir Putin. Navalny is the most serious competitor that we have seen in 20 years to the authoritarian rule of Vladimir Putin. So I think the Biden administration has been right to criticize it. At some point, I would certainly hope that we'd see further measures from the U.S., not just on the Navalny poisoning and imprisoning, but also on the SolarWinds hack, this major hack, the biggest in cyber history, directed by the Kremlin against the United States, against our government and against our companies. And so that is ahead of us. But I do think that this President Biden, is going to stand up against these two authoritarian powers. We're in a very competitive relationship with China, and the Chinese have to understand that the kind of intellectual property theft, not playing by the rules, and the human rights violation are not going to go unanswered the way they largely did, let's face it, in the Trump years, especially by President Trump, who never really uttered a word of criticism of either Xi Jinping or Putin.
Ambassador Nick Burns, you know the State Department so well. It's great to have your perspective today. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.